Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's podcast. Listen, we're going to have a great conversation on tonight. I want to make sure that I share this podcast with everyone I know. So if you notice that I'm looking down, it is a reason behind that because, as I stated, I want everyone tuned in because I have an amazing squad tonight. Okay. Amazing. I have Gene Jr., I have Joshua, and I have Brionna. They are joining me on tonight. And y'all, when I tell you that they are going to come with the good goods, the good knowledge, the good conversation, it's going to happen tonight. Okay. So if you're watching, go ahead and like, share, and if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Tonight, we're tuning in, or should I say, streaming on 3 platforms. We're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on LinkedIn, and we are streaming on YouTube. All right. So, welcome, guests. Welcome. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and joining me tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Great. So just real quick, I just want to go around the square here. Just tell me how was your day? We're going to start with Brionna, ladies first, and we're going to move right on to either Gene or Joshua. All right, Bree, just let us know how your day was.
I had an amazing light day today. Didn't work too hard. So that's always a plus, right?
Right. Absolutely. All right. Who's next? Which one want to go next?
You can go, Josh.
All right. Good evening. My day was pretty busy from top to bottom, but it was pretty smooth, so I can't complain too much.
Good. All right, Gene.
Family, and more family. Wife, kids, and myself. But I'm here, so I'm blessed.
Yes. And again, y'all, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Last week was a great conversation, and last week where we were talking about breaking relationship patterns that don't serve God. So because we ran out of time and the conversation was so good, we had to bring in a part 2 this week, and that is why I am joined by my guests. But y'all know I like to start my podcast off with a foundational scripture. So the foundational scripture tonight is coming from Ecclesiastes, verse 9. I have verse 9 through 12, but I'm only going to share verse 9 and 10 tonight. But it said, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone. So that's our foundational scripture. And we know in relationships, it takes what? 2 individuals, right? And we know that there are certain challenges that relationships go through. But we also notice that on our last conversation, there are certain patterns that relationships sometimes emulate. And we don't want to emulate those negative patterns. So we're going to dive right into our conversation. Last week, we ended our conversation talking about access and how access creates attachment. And one of the things that left like this cliffhanger is when Gene stated that people will try to snake their way in. They would try to snake their way into relationships. But before we continue the conversation, we have one of our guests. He's on. Roderick is on. He said, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Roderick. Thank you so much for tuning in on tonight and joining in on our conversation. So listen, we were talking about work relationships and how sometimes people can try to snake their way in. So the first thing that we're going to talk about on tonight is, how do you know when a work relationship crosses the line? How do you know when a work relationship crosses a line? Brianna, do you want to lead us with this particular topic or this question here?
Yes, I would love to. So I would say one of the signs that you know a relationship, a work relationship has crossed the line. I'm going to say when you leave work and that individual is at the forefront of your mind.
Mm,
I feel like that is the first signifier that that relationship has gotten a little further than what it should be. Is because as soon as you leave, they're constantly on your mind. As soon as you walk in your home, you're thinking about them or you're ready to text them. That's what I will say. Now, it is a difference between them just having, you know, a coworker and you're just talking about work, but I'm talking more of a deeper level, like, wow, I wonder what they're doing, or I want to
mhm.
call this person to see how, or what they up to or what's for dinner, those more intimate conversations.
Right, right. I love that, Brianna. And I just want to preference this question is for those individuals who are married or they're in a committed relationship. Okay. Because if you're not in a committed relationship and you are in the dating or courtship phase, yes, you want to be on that person's mind. So
Absolutely.
I just want to put in, I want to put in that
Absolutely.
that disclaimer there. Don't you agree with that, Brianna?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Thank you for that disclaimer because,
Yeah.
it's normal for you to have somebody on your mind, as exactly how she said it's single, but
Yes.
preface is marriage and, the dating.
Yes, 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 yes. I agree. So, either Gene or Josh, what's your input in regards to this?
My input is when you're not no longer talking about work. I think when you're married, you should only keep it work related.
Mm-hmm.
Once that stuff goes past work, then it's kind of crossed the line for me
Mm-hmm.
because the dude at your job shouldn't know nothing about me or the kids or any of that. So I think that's the start. That's the spark when it
Mm-hmm.
goes past work. Everything should be work. I'm just being honest. And I know a
Okay.
lot of people, talk about their family, but when you're dealing with the opposite sex, it should just be work, period. Because that little small spark ends up into a big fire. That
That's
you
true.
know,
And you
that's
know what, Gene? I would say something. I'm going to interject real quick before Joshua pop in. I can see your point of view on that because if you're sharing too much about your familiar status, meaning your
hmm
family, then
hmm
the person's going to figure out, okay, so what is it that he is doing or she is doing or not doing that I can do?
Exactly.
yeah,
And if they're not doing that, okay, I see this is an interest of that person. That's an interest of that person. So, as you stated in the last podcast, okay, that's when they can snake their way in into a relationship, especially if they have an ulterior motive with developing a relationship with you. So, I totally agree on that.
yeah.
Joshua, we want to hear your input, brother.
I was basically want to piggyback off what Gene said. Basically, when um, basically talk about personal things outside of work, when it's not work related, because at the end of the day, people can pinpoint the weakness in the conversation, and they can take that and plot on, okay, since I know this person, he or she, uh, was talking about this or complaining about this or complaining about that, then some people use it as some people are good friends,
Mhm.
and they'd be
Yes.
like, give godly, um, scriptures or give godly information to how to help you out with this and that. But some people take that and use it to their advantage. I mean, some basically some be single and some be married. Some both of them might be married. So it's like, and you see a lot of that, hit the news at times and things like that. So it's basically like taking personal information and putting it out there, because at the end of the day, nobody needs to know your business except for you and whoever that you got things going on, because that's the last thing you want to do in
Yeah.
wherever you work at. People love drama. So if they can have something to take and run with it and spread, for they can make it throughout the week, then that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Johnny at
Y'all, go
Johnny at
ahead.
the time, he don't have no reason to know. Let's say I was in the military that I'm on leave or I'm going on a work trip. If Johnny at the job know that, then he can snake his way in easy. Oh, you know what I mean? That's why I say you gotta keep it work. You know what I mean? It can't get personal because if Johnny know that I'm going out of town, then Johnny gonna try to get close.
Mm,
Sure will.
Yeah.
Sure will.
that's it.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
it. So stop running your mouth to Johnny. Okay. So listen, y'all. Listen, we got some people that's commenting. Mabel is on. Good evening, Mabel. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, Roger agreed with y'all. He said, agree, bro. That's when Gene was talking, and he's agreeing also with you, Joshua, as well. Listen, Sherry stated absolutely. Don't go running your mouth to other people about your man or woman. Woo, y'all some truth tellers tonight. I love it. And Sherry said, exactly. People love drama. Said my big Sherry. Come on now. Don't do that to your brother on his podcast.
Not Josh. Ooh.
I can explain what she
Grown
never
man.
told me that.
You know what, Sherry? Sherry, get your hair done. Get your hair done, okay? All right, Brianna is tagging some people here. So listen, let me give y'all my input on this. I know when across the line starts to happen is when that person starts bringing you lunch. Mhm. So what do you like to eat? Next thing you know, or what's your favorite coffee? Next thing you know, there's some Starbucks on your desk. There is your favorite lunch. They didn't brought you a donut. It starts with those little things that we don't even really see as being grand, but it starts to build up and build up. And then they start with, so what you doing after work? And as Jean stated, if your spouse is on a work trip or out of town and this, that, and the third, and they know that that person is out of town and they start asking, what you doing? I'm not doing anything. Well, so do you want to hang out? That's crossing the line.
Sister
So,
Lenora, when you first go to prison, they tell you, don't take the honey bun. They put that honey bun on your bed, you do not take that honey bun.
Oh
So
wow.
don't take the Starbucks because it's a motive behind that.
ooh,
Yeah. So when they put that honey bun on your bed, they're trying to get your honey bun. You understand what I'm saying? Yes,
mm,
ma'am. Don't
And
take it.
that segues into something that I wanted to bring up too. You also have to be careful of those whose love language is like physical touch. And sometimes what they start off with is like trying to like get a little close or walk by you and trying to say something real soft. Or you know how sometimes y'all go and grab something and both of your hands are touching things together. I would say that is often some things that can happen, especially with, like Jean said, if somebody's going out of town, they feel like that's the opportunity to try those things because
mhm,
more than likely the person is not going to tell their spouse, okay, we need to talk. This incident happened at work. They should talk about it, but when you get in those certain situations, it's kind of like panic mode as to like, what do I do? Because I don't want them to think that I'm messing, or have an interest in this person, but this actually happened. And that's the importance of having communication too, because if you have that level of trust in your spouse to where you could sit down with them and tell them like, hey, this person is showing some interest. This is what happened, but I nipped it in the bud. Then you shouldn't really have to worry about too much. But it takes time and it takes growth.
I agree. I agree. And it's just like a person of my past had jumped in my DMs. And I told my husband, it wasn't that I was trying to, make him upset. I wanted to make him aware. And I'm like, if you see this person in the street, just know who this person is. But I want to be upfront about someone overstepping their boundaries.
Was it a past relationship?
Well, it was a person that I would Well, a person I
Show
started to
interest.
talk to in the past. I'm going to just
Okay.
answer your question. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I don't need you to check in to see how I'm doing. I'm fine.
Right. Right.
I'm
Nip it
good.
in the bud. Nip it in the bud.
Nip it
To
in
nip
the
it
bud.
in the
I don't need for you to send me a friend request. Nip it in the bud.
because people are
Yes.
looking for those little holes
Loopholes.
or moments, yeah, loopholes to see, oh, you know what? I could say this. She ain't gonna say nothing. She ain't gonna nip it in the bud. So that was a good point you brought out.
I had
Thank
made
you.
a content. I had made a reel about that when they go in your inbox saying they don't mean no disrespect. You know the disrespect coming right behind that. As soon as they say that word, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? What you gonna say after that? I already know what's coming. You beautiful, you fine, or this or that. That's that little snake stuff that they try to, the little bait that they throw out. But see, yeah, I done been in the water, so I know what bait is.
Ooh.
I know that's right.
Gene, can you say that again?
I done been in the water, so I know what bait is.
Oh my goodness. Josh, did you just hear what the brother said?
Yeah, I heard what he said,
My gracious.
but that's true though.
Listen,
But
it's
that's
true.
true because
It's
a lot
true.
of times, like he said, a lot of people it's almost like what they say, shooting your shot, you know. And so at the end of the day, it only take to have one reply. A lot of times you can read messages and don't even open the message, you know, or you can see the message and don't reply. If you reply 9 out of 10, that reply is coming back. So and it's either you gonna be eager to text back or you gonna block them, you know.
That's
So at
right.
the end of the day, it's up to you, like you say, access.
Yeah.
If you keep replying, you giving that access, like, oh, that person must miss me, you know. Because at the end of the day, what they got to lose, you got more to lose than they do. Because obviously that's why they shooting their shot, you
Yeah.
know. So
That part. So listen, I got a question, but I want to read these comments. Okay, real quick, like, okay. Sherry stated, I'm gonna put an order in for me, my husband, and my baby. That's right. Don't put an order in for nobody else. Listen, Kim Cakes is on. Hey, Kim Cakes. She said, Jane Jr., she gave you
That's
some
my
strong.
sis. That's my sis.
Hey, sister. Okay, okay. Are y'all kin to the Peter Ken? Is it Peter
No,
Ken?
no,
Rachel?
that's that. We went to school together. I call her sis. She called me
Oh,
bro.
oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah,
I got
we,
you. I got
her,
you.
my wife, and me. Yeah, we all went to school together. Yeah,
Okay. Good
yeah.
stuff.
That's
All
like,
right.
man. But she is kin to those Peterkins from out of Rayford. Absolutely.
Okay. All
She married
right.
into a Peterkin.
All right. So Sherry said, ew, Gene, honey bun. My goodness. They can keep the honey bun and the oodles and noodles. The girl's silly, but I tell you. Roderick said, I agree, sis. And she said, hey, Lenora, you really did go the long way with answering the question. So Gene Jr. called you out. Yes. And I just came and said, yeah, Gene, you're right about that. Okay. Jasmine is on. She said, this is right on time. Hello, Gene. I mean, excuse me, Jasmine. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And y'all, Jasmine is a phenomenal entrepreneur who is about to launch and open up her salon. And listen, y'all, that's right, that's right, that's right. Y'all go
Yes,
ahead, give
that's
us some hands. We're
awesome.
gonna go ahead and give you
Yes.
some hands, Jasmine. Because that's amazing. It's amazing that you're about to open up your studio. And listen, we got some more comments. Let me read these comments here. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm coming. All right. Enhanced Beauty by Lena. She stated the inboxing is a big one. Hello. This is another phenomenal entrepreneur here, an esthetician. So if you all are looking for your beauty needs, this is another phenomenal entrepreneur here in this area. So y'all reach out to Lena. Okay, and listen what she stated. She said the inboxing is a big one. It definitely is. So this is a question I want to ask real quick, okay? But Lord, let me read these people. Let me hold on. These phenomenal guests tonight. Let me read these comments. Okay. Nina Perry said, right, easy way to see if they can have access. You're absolutely right. Is it Nina or Nina? I'm sorry. But Miss Perry, you're right. What is it?
Nina.
Nina. Okay, Nina. Yes, you're absolutely right. It is a way for them to get access. All right. So listen here. My question to y'all is, should a person who is married be connected on social media platforms with a person that they were in a relationship in their past with?
I'll let Jean start with that.
You gonna put me on the front line? uh no, but I have been, just being honest. I have been, and nah, you shouldn't. You should just, they liking pictures and stuff. You shouldn't. But if an inbox come that disrespectful, you was out of there. So if you shot, I don't mean no disrespect, that line, yeah, you out of there because I know what's coming. But I'm just being honest. I have been. I've been on Facebook about 18 years. So yeah, I have been.
Okay.
Not too many people be honest. People be lying.
They be lying. Well, I appreciate your honesty, Gene.
Yeah.
And Gene is talking from the marital standpoint. So Brianna and Joshua, y'all on the unmarried standpoint. So from the unmarried standpoint, if y'all were married, would you be connected and connected with people of your past on your social media platform? Brianna?
The answer is no. No, we don't play them type of games. No, no, no. And the reason why I'll say that is because it just could lead to something that does not have to be there, especially if things have ended between you both. And sometimes you can still have some type of feeling depending on how things ended. Now, if things ended in such a way that, there's no reconciliation, then that's understandable. But sometimes you could share some things and people will see it, or I will say your ex will see it, and they will try to hit up your inbox and saying different things. But as you all stated, you can just snip that in the bud and not even be friends with them, unfriend them, because what purpose are they serving in being on your social media and seeing things you're doing? Because what if you were at a certain place when they were with you, but now you've grown a little higher and now they're like, you know what? I want that version of you now because I like.
Yeah, that's
So,
crazy. That's triggering. That's
yes, it
triggering.
is.
People
It
remember
is.
me from my past and they're like, oh, he married, he got kids, he taking care of them babies. Yeah. And then they
Yep.
want that version. They don't want that 18, 19, 20-year-old dude that was on the block with the sagging pants and the gold teeth.
Mm-mm.
They want the pearly white. Yeah, but access denied. Get them out of
There
here.
you go. There you go.
I had to
That's
give y'all the
the-
gone. But before
yes.
Joshua respond, I gotta play this one right quick. It's your turn, Joshua.
It's crazy because I had this conversation not too long ago about people that you knew or had some type of relationship. Um, will it be hard, for me to let them go or eliminate them from my Facebook and stuff like that. And we talked about it and things like that. And then I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, yes, I know I will have to do that because at the end of the day, like you said, at the end of the day, I already know. I mean, people gonna pop in and pop out, especially when they see you married.
Yeah.
You haven't posted anything, like that. And as soon as you put you married into stuff like that, all right, them inboxes don't go crazy. So sometimes it's
Mhm.
like, do you delete your whole Facebook and start a new one, or what? Because like you said, if you don't had it for a while, you don't know who still is on your Facebook or not because you don't see everybody. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
But at the end of the day, but if they approach you, like you said, or you see, okay, this person I'm still friends with, or things like that, and you had a you know good or bad relationship with them, then you got to cut ties, but that's how it is. Because at the end of the day, it's like being respectful, but some people they don't know how to be respectful. when it comes to that. To
Yeah, doing that is kind of like cancer, right? When a doctor go and get the cancer, he got to cut it all out, because if he leave a piece of the cancer, then guess what? It's gonna come back. So that having an X on your Facebook or any social media is like not getting rid of that small piece of cancer. So
So y'all say, y'all basically as a consensus, get them out of here.
yeah, you have to.
All right, let me read these comments here. Okay. All right. Sherry said, okay, Gene, I have been in the water. I know what bait is. Bars.
I was a rapper in my former life.
Okay, Gene. Okay. All right. Kim Cake said, hi, beautiful. Hi. And she also stated, yes, closer family than my blood. Wow. Melissa is on. She said she's watching. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining in. Jasmine said, hi, ladies. All thank you so much. Lenore is my beautiful mentor. I see, she said it. I didn't say it. March 3rd, the doors unlocked. If you're looking for a stylist, visit her Crown Beauty Salon and her Crown Beauty. I love it. I love it. All right. Chander is on. Good evening, Chander. Chander said you have to set boundaries up front and let the other person know what you stand for and what they are not going to take. Set boundaries and be firm. No kiki can.
That's old school right there.
That is old school. And listen, for her to say no kiki can, and I'm
I can hear her saying that.
because they can try to read more into it. I love it. I love it, Chander. I love it. Listen, my sister said, Sam said no. Y'all know who Sam is. Sam is my amazing stylist who made sure that my hair was good. I got a little body here for tonight podcast. And my sister is there and he's watching the podcast while she's getting her dome taken care of. Okay. I won't tell y'all what she looked like early when she did a production check. Okay. We just gonna keep it.
a rooster.
She's like,
what? Don't call her out.
What did he say? A rooster?
Yes. Sherry, talk to him. I give you permission. Eat him up.
oh, Josh, she's going to get you.
Look, them fingers on fire right now.
She gonna get you. She is going to
But
get
she
you.
getting it fried, dyed, and laid to the side now. So
She said, this is good. Listen, she also said, talk about it, licensed clinical social worker McKeever. All right. Kenya is on, the beautiful Kenya Moorhead, who is the wife of Gene. She is on. She said, you most definitely have to trust your partner. I definitely agree with that. And Sherry stated, you are my past. My past is my past. Absolutely. And y'all, Brionna said, please tag your friends. Invite them to this conversation. Because half of y'all friends be blowing y'all phones up in the evening, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, even 1 a.m. to my girl, I need to talk to you about this. Dude, I need to talk to you about this. Tell them we're talking about it on the podcast tonight. Okay. All right. So Sherry said, Lenore, she said, you're doing the most. I'm sorry. I'm just excited. You know what? Because I got some amazing people with me. Brionna gave us some hands up. Bonita is on. Good evening, Bonita. She said, I'm a little late. Girl, we've been having a good conversation. Can I tell you that? We've been having a good conversation. And Brionna also said, post any questions. Yes, y'all, please post any questions that you all may have, okay? Make sure you post those questions. But listen, y'all, real quick, we have to go to a quick commercial break. All right, and we'll be right back. Luxury isn't just a look, it's a feeling. And every moment deserves to be captured in its most timeless form. At Bougie Brie Photography, confidence meets the camera. Every pose, every detail becomes unforgettable. Whether you're stepping in front of the lens or into the spotlight, your beauty becomes cinematic, transformed into visuals that move you. And when it's time to celebrate, strike, smile, shine. Our luxury photo booth turns every event into a bold, unforgettable experience. Your story is more than a moment. It's artistry. It's emotion. It's you, captured with intention and elevated with elegance. So whether it's photography, videography, or a high-end photo booth, let's create something iconic.
Book your luxury experience today. Bougie Brief Photography, where your confidence meets the camera.
And y'all, I am getting notifications that somehow my podcast tonight is in some group. I think Facebook, I don't know what they're doing, but it should not be in a group, but it should be a public post. So I'm not sure what is going on. I really don't. So hopefully if y'all see it, um, are y'all able to share it? If you are able to share it, please let me know. I don't know why it's sharing in a group. I did not select share in a group. I actually shared it public. So I apologize for any type of tech issues. Okay. But hopefully if you share it or send the link to someone. Okay. All right. So we got some additional comments here. Sherry said that is why I have to check everybody. Sherry, really?
She called you out, Josh.
Sherry is
Because you
on.
said she looked like a rooster.
Yeah.
That have nothing to do with it.
And he said, "Man, go somewhere." Okay, all right. So yeah, that was funny. That was funny. But listen, y'all, the conversation have been good so far. So listen, I want to now ask the question: how can couples protect their relationship in the workplace? Because we're talking about breaking relationship patterns that don't serve God, okay? Because we know God honored covenant and commitment. So, what, from y'all's standpoint, how can couples protect their relationship in the workplace? Which one of
They
y'all want
can they can protect it by simply treating the workplace as a job. And that's something that I practice now. It is okay to make friends at work, have work friends, but I am intentional about that because I'm going there, I'm getting paid for a job, and then I'm going home. So with that mindset, it's a little easy for me to kind of put up professional boundaries in the workplace. That way, I will not form something, a little more intimate with my coworkers.
to? Okay,
Yeah.
I love it.
As far as like my wife, she's in the medical field, and so she doesn't do all that perfume, all that loud stuff, all them tight scrubs and stuff like that, and I commend her for that and I honor her for that because, a lot of times, women can give off flirtatious vibes when they're at the job, and my wife keeps it professional. She's in management and she don't play. They know, when Kenya walks through the door, she's not playing no game. So she keep, all that kind of like provocative stuff. She don't partake in that. And I appreciate that as her husband because I would hate to have to go up to that job.
I know that's right.
Okay, Gene. All right, Joshua.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there, though. You for real?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I could agree with him. I could say clothing, body gestures, like you said, certain conversations, like Bree said, you want to keep the professionalism. At the end of the day, it's not saying that you just walk like, hey, bye. Sometimes you can say, hey, have a quick conversation, and keep about your way, But like you said, clothing is one, at the end of the day, yeah, people would say, well, I'm with you, so you should feel comfortable. Nothing should, you know, be a reason why you shouldn't trust me. But I mean, like you said, certain things can entice people, you know. At the end of the day, certain things can create somebody to lust for you, even though
Yeah.
you're not giving off, feel like you're not giving off that energy or this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, if you presenting yourself a certain way, at the end of the day, a man's gonna be a man, a woman's gonna be a woman. So at the end of the day, you can say this, you can say that, but if you know you're doing these things and at the end of the day you bring it to your husband or boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, and they let you know about this, like, look, you should adjust this, you should adjust that. Then at the end of the day, you guys are working together to create one less conflict in the house, especially I know in the different locations that y'all don't have to worry about because at the end of the day, like I said, man will be man, there's gonna be women, but you
That's true.
kind of minimize like one less argument if you get what I'm saying. 'Cause at the end of the day, when it comes to you're not dressed provocative, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and this person and continue to say stuff and continue to cross the line, then that's when you gotta take like to another level. Like, look, this sexual harassment because I done
That's
said
true.
I done ignored you and you keep saying stuff to me at this time. I done told ignore you or say okay, thank you, keep moving, and you feel like at that point that you feel like you've been violated or you starting to feel uncomfortable at work, then that's when you to talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. And let me read some of these comments that came in. Melissa said, Brianna, word of wisdom. She agreed with you there. Roderick said, I know that's right. He agreed. Listen, he's saying what Gene Jr.
That's my
saying.
dog.
He said, I would hate to go up to DSS.
I know
Lord, Roderick.
Hey, I'll be right behind you, Rod.
I'm coming too, all the way from Charlotte.
I
We
know
riding
that's
together.
he got an army.
Got an arm. Enhance beauty by Lena stated, yes, stay in your lane, remain professional and respectful for others. That is absolutely correct. Bonita stated, set boundaries with your colleagues and keep it strictly professional. And Melissa said,
Yes,
I agree. Listen, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. This is a good conversation. Make sure y'all post any questions that you all have. Post those questions. And if you like, I don't really want to post the questions, if you want to shoot me an inbox, I will see if I can see it in the inbox. But yeah, we would love to acknowledge your questions that you may have. Okay. So listen, y'all, the comments that you all have stated and provided, conversation has been so good. So now we've been talking about the different signs, the different behaviors that is really not the best behavior for us to lean into or follow when you're in a either a marriage or, to me, a committed relationship. So we're going to talk about how to break the pattern. How can we break these patterns? Okay. So the first thing is inviting God into the process. Why do you feel like inviting God into the process of your relationship to that is an essential ingredient to maintain that healthy relationship, fun-loving relationship, and also ensuring that you can overcome the different challenges? Why having God as a center in the relationship matters?
Um, I would like to say one word: understanding. Because a lot of times when you bring God to the situation, and when you pray about the situation, a lot of times, when you be hot and one person got a temper and then you got the cool one, so it's like the cool one know what to do or they know what to say at that time. That person is hot and mad, and they know they ask God for the right words to say to this person because any word can be a trigger at that time. And at that time when they're upset, anything you say can be twisted. You
yeah,
know, I can say that for myself. At times I'm upset. You saying something and you say the one wrong thing, I'm gonna think you saying a whole totally different thing
mhm,
because of how certain words you use. And Bree might back me up when it comes to certain words you use at certain times. And at the end of the day,
mhm.
I guess when you like go deep down and like when you include God in you like a lot of situations, he will help you with how do I attack this situation. Knowing he's hot or knowing she's mad, how do I attack this situation that I don't make it worse? Because I already know what
Mm.
state that they're in right now. So how do I not make it worse? How do I help ease the situation? You might not fix the situation at that time, but you can like take some of the load off that person during that time because at the time he's not seeing anything what you're saying at this time. A lot of times you angry, you're not trying to hear nothing. You
Mm-mm.
know,
That's true.
at the end of the day, certain words can help you digress. You feel me?
Mm,
So that's what I was thinking.
I love it. I love it. All right. So who want to add next? And Josh, you got to receive the direct message. Check your message, please. But who wants to go next, Jean or Brianna?
Bree, you want to go?
Sure, I'll go. So inviting God into the process, that is important because if we go to the Bible, that is the foundation is God. Before two people come together, ideally, we're supposed to have that relationship with God and then come together as one because He is the foundation, He is the root to every relationship. He should be the root to it. And God, like as Josh said, God can give us certain things to say and help us actually with the fruits of the spirit, meekness, loving, kindness, patience, all of those things to
Mhm.
help us in these relationships. Now, don't get me wrong, we all have our own personalities. We all been through different things and we're all a work in progress. But as a reminder, if we say, you know what, God, please help me in this situation because this boy is about to make me go off, he will definitely help you in that situation. And it may be walk away, hold your tongue, don't say nothing, drink some
Mhm.
water. I heard that a lot from the older ones. Drink some water, hold it in your mouth. And it's just those small, still reminders of things that you should do in those situations that will help you. So I feel like that's why God is so important because I mean, I was in the world and I know how it is, you know, without having God and you just like to the point where, oh, we fighting, like been there, done that. And
Ooh.
then now coming to the other side, it's like, you know what? Yeah, God should definitely be in your center because he just controls us all. We are his children and he controls us way better than we can control ourselves.
Did I hear fighting, mother?
And child
Fight like
fight.
Ooh,
street
that was
fight.
your younger unsaved days.
Yes, yes. Those was younger, unsaved days, choking, all that. You know, yeah.
Ooh.
God for
Jean,
deliverance.
Jean, listen. I'm gonna read these questions and I want you to jump in because she just shined the light, being very transparent there with us. But hey, transparency is key. All right, Sherry said, people don't cross me, but I'm glad my husband, my newfound brother Gene Jr., and my newfound sister, who is his wife, got my back. Laugh out loud. All right, sis. She also stated, I'm glad my sister is a calm one. She will bust out in a prayer and a heartbeat, hollering and all,
She talking
like
about
Especially
Jean
last,
said.
on,
I
look,
know what
last
especially
she's
on
week.
the
talking
block.
about. She talking
That's
about
right.
yelling. I'm still
Especially on the
sitting with
block.
that, Jean.
She
I'm
definitely
still
will.
sitting with that.
She sure will, Josh.
You said it was whooping, right?
Whooping.
Okay,
Yelling.
so you remember that song "Whoop There It Is"?
Ah! Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Oh my goodness, y'all too funny. Okay, I'm gonna read this last question and then you can respond. Sam said, hold water in your mouth. It may get spit out on you. Laugh out loud. That's true because that's what the old folks used to tell you. Put that water in your mouth and just hold it. But these new generation folks,
That's true. That's a good point.
they'll swallow the water, spit the water out, and fuss with you with the water in their mouth. I mean, it just while they arguing with you. So definitely different. Hey, friend. Hey, Keisha. My friend is on. All right. Thank you, Keisha, for joining us. Okay, Jean, have at it.
Without God, I can do nothing. I can't do it alone. I need Him. Absolutely, positively, I'm being honest, transparent because without Him and reading that Bible, like Proverbs is my favorite book because it gives me, the wisdom that I need.
Mhm.
But without that, if you don't have that foundation and you don't know how to go to Him and talk to Him and ask Him for help, then you subject to fall for anything out here. Every little trick of the trade, you can't do it by yourself. We're not strong enough. We need that foundation. We need God. We got to call on Him, because
I love
without
it.
Him, I'm going to fail. And I'm just going to put it out there and be honest. I can't do it alone.
I love it. I love it. And he definitely should be part of the process. And with you stating how you read your Bible, and I'm sure, I know Joshua, he was in the book of Proverbs too at one point reading, and I read it throughout the month of January. That's how I started my particular um, year off, reading it during the month of January. And since we own this, right? If you read Proverbs, it will tell you how to save your relationship. Am I right about
You,
it?
yes, ma'am.
It will talk about the woman. It focuses on that woman and focuses on her level of seduction for a man, to a man, and how she say, just like you said earlier, Jean, well, your husband is went off on a far trip. I can come by, lace your bed with the good old linen and everything else. Proverbs is the book. I'm telling you, it is the book. So, with you saying reading your word and inviting God in the process, my question to you all is this: do you think that it is important for couples to spend time together in prayer? I know you do it separately, but in prayer and also scripture reading. What's y'all take on that quality time together, spending that time with God?
That's how you grow stronger. A family that prays together stays together.
Mhm.
Simple. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I love it.
I can agree with that. Spending time and reading your Bible and getting together in the Word, because you can see what faults that you may have within yourself while reading, and they can see that as well, and they can give a more understanding between you guys when you actually reading the Word, um, praying as well, because at the end of the day, it strengthens each other. Because like you said, Mom actually told me about reading Proverbs a couple of times, and then I actually was told to do it again. So last January, that's when I started, but it took me to it took it to October to finish that. So I mean, and it's a lot. It tells you as trying to be the man that God wants you to be and being the woman that God wants you to be, because it a lot of it hits you though, because when you
Yeah.
read it, it hits you. It lets you know, like, boom, boom, boom. Like when you read it for yourself, you see yourself in a lot of them things. And I know for myself, I know I see myself in a lot of things that was in that whole book, and it lets you know what you need to work on as a person. It lets you know what you need to work on before you even get in a serious relationship, and what you need to do when you get in a relationship, or when you get married at that, and to have a healthy relationship. Because at the end of the day, every relationship is not perfect. But at the end of the day, it's fighting for your relationship and actually sticking it out to the end. That's what's
Right.
important.
Definitely agree. Brianna, I want to read these comments and I want to share something and I'm going to come back with you as well in regards to the importance of the relationship. If you're in a relationship, spending that time together, quality time with God. Melissa said, Jean, this goes for marriage and single for a point that you brought out earlier. Sherry stated, yes, we need God, Jesus, the Holy Ghost, the Trinity, and all the angels to help us. Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely. And Brianna, she said, back up from the camera, insider. I guess that's an insider that y'all got. Okay. And she said, yes, prayer and reading the Bible today is right. She definitely agree. I definitely agree. Yes, praying, reading, and praying together is absolutely correct. And Melissa stated, Jean, amen. We need three. First, Jesus, husband, and wife. Love it, love it, love it, Melissa. Love it. All right. So I want to share a few things here. And y'all bear with me real quick. If you are in need of book stacks, you will notice behind Brianna, she has a little book stack in her display. Um, book stacks is a way that you can actually add to your decor, whether it's your office or your home. Make sure that you follow the Style Spine online, and they offer different type of book stacks. And if you go online on Facebook, you can follow them, and that is basically their Facebook profile page. So that's the Style Spine. Make sure that you like and connect with the Style Spine, okay? And since we're showing and bringing out various announcements, coming soon, Sister Pour Into Me. It's been a couple of years, so stay tuned for Sister Pour Into Me. We're working on some things and looking forward to bring this back. Now, I had a slide here to the camera. Don't I look like myself here on this picture? Just with a little smoothing out. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
Do I need to put it back on there? Okay.
Mhm.
Audience, y'all agree? This lady
Absolutely.
right here in the corner, Brionna McKeever, did that photo shoot, branding for me for Sister Pour Into Me. And if you ever have attended Sister Pour Into Me, let me tell you something. It is a life-changing event. And just to give you a snippet of the amazing experience that you will receive, let me show you this clip. Some of you have experienced so much trauma dealing and loving the wrong man. So it took her having an encounterment with God to realize my love is not tied to what's back there in my house. In order to pour in yourself, you got to learn how to receive. I'm surrounded by my sisters. I'm going to pour into myself. I'm going to glean all of this information that God is pouring into me. And once I glean this information and I eat and I digest it, I'm going to raise my hand and say, Lord, I thank you for replenishing me. Lord, I thank you for loving me. Lord, I thank you for keeping me in my right. What? So y'all, when the date is announced, get there. It is transformational. It's transformational. Men, one day I'm going to generate something for you all too. Because listen, y'all need pouring into as well. Do y'all agree? I know it's a
agree.
little off subject.
Absolutely, I agree.
Absolutely.
Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So listen, I know this is a little off subject, but since I have two amazing men in front of me, my question to you men is this. If something was put together for men, would you rather for everyone that is going to be sharing and facilitating or speaking for it to be men, or would you be open to maybe one woman on the platform? And it's not, and I'm not asking this question to force you on a response, but I just want to know, what would your recommendations be? Do you prefer all men, or are you open to men and maybe one woman? How do you all feel? How, I mean, from the man brain, I just want to ask that
I
question.
mean, just like your situation is all women. I would prefer it to be all men.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you for that, Jean.
and not one woman because that would be uncomfortable.
Thank
One
you.
woman and all men. Nah, we could just keep it all men.
Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But
Love it.
to add on to that though, a couple's like a husband and wife thing would be dope.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Joshua?
So, so like Mike, so you're saying like a husband and wife?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
I
you
can,
have the all women, then the all men, then the couples. Yeah,
Then
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay,
couple.
got you,
yeah.
got
Or
you.
if it's just a man event, just strictly having men speakers for a
Yeah.
men event.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Okay, got
I, thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to hear your y'all standpoint. Okay. It's always good to hear from men. and what their thoughts is, because I feel like you all need a safe place too. Because guess what? You all have observed, you all have experienced different things. And in relationships, we're talking about breaking relationship patterns that don't serve God. There may be things that you all have experienced and have created trauma within your lives, and you're ready to fully, release it and to embrace the other side of that, the greatness, the love, and all the other things that come into play. So I feel like you all are well deserving for a safe place too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me get back to this subject, okay? And read these comments. How about that? Okay. So, Enhanced Beauty by Lena State. Yes, Brie is amazing. Isn't she? She's great. Brianna said, yes, the style's fine, and she's excited about Sister Pour Into Me. She tagged her business. Y'all get with her, okay? And she thanked Lena. All right. Bonita said, thank you, Lenora Dawson Lassiter, for pouring into my life years ago. Bonita and I have an amazing story on how things happen. And since you share this, Bonita, can you let me know in the comments if it's okay for me to share the story? Okay, but I'm gonna go down and read this other comment. Melissa says she agreed. All right, guys, because I know y'all hungry. Okay. Men are not like women. Y'all don't want to be on here talking a long time. So I'm about to wrap it up. Okay. But we talked about inviting God to the process. Okay. And he's also invited to this podcast. Okay. Why is it important to heal before attaching to someone else? We're talking about breaking a pattern. So why is it important to heal before attaching?
I'll go first. I know I shared a little bit of my story earlier.
You
Now let's
follow.
say, like, you said what?
That's okay. Continue.
So with me sharing, having the little tussles, in the relationship, let's say that I did not go through the healing process and I meet, my next gentleman and I take that same behavior into that relationship. That would not be a good thing for me to do because now I'm treating this new one and remembering everything that happened in the past relationship. I'm projecting all of that into this new guy, and then it's just intensifying and it's continuing to grow, kind of like a fire. You just bringing all this baggage and putting it on there. So it's very important to heal before attaching, and that means sometimes it could take years, which for myself, it has taken years for me, being single and really going through different things, things I've learned and unlearning those things. So that way, when I do meet, the person that is for me, I will be healed to a certain extent to where, I'm always going to be healing till the day I die. But for past relationships and things that I know that you should not bring to that relationship, it's just important to take out time to heal, and then you can safely attach yourself to that person and know, you know what, there may be some minor things that we have to work on, but not any major things.
Okay. That's good. Who want to go next?
Um, I can agree to that. About bringing, past, we can say drama or past hurt to your next relationship, because a lot of times patterns can cause that. You see certain patterns, and then at that point you already put a wall up because you're like, okay, I done experienced this before, so it's like, you know what, let me just go ahead and prepare just in case, because this is like follow the pattern that I was before, or what I was in what certain relationship I was in before, talking to somebody before. So it's like you trying to protect yourself from being hurt again. So a
Yes.
lot of times it's almost like you prepare yourself to be hurt, and it might not be what the person is trying to do, but when you haven't really recovered, or a lot of times it's trauma,
Yes.
so a lot of time is bigger than, you know, sometimes you trying to focus on yourself. And I know we was talking about that last week. Gene was talking about last week about sometimes you have to get professional help when it comes to a
Yes.
lot of things because certain trauma can trigger stuff when you get to another person and then they don't understand you or didn't take out time to really get to know you,
Mhm.
then that could be a whole issue. But if that person really takes out that time to get to know you and they know you have certain issues that you're still working on, but they're willing to take that chance with you and work with you throughout those situations, even though you're working on it by yourself, but that person is still helping you in your corner. Stuff like that means a lot to that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you see, like, okay, because a lot of times you be like, well, I don't know, they might not like this, so they might leave me. So a lot of
Right.
times a battle within yourself when it comes to people, and that's when and allowing people to get close to you and trusting people because at the end of the day, you're trying to protect yourself from being hurt, or vice versa, you hurting somebody else because you're so
Ooh,
used to being secluded and you don't want that person to get close to you, then you do stuff to push that person away. And that
that's
person
true.
is really genuinely trying to be there for you. So it's like a catch 22 when it comes to certain things, like getting therapy and actually getting real advice, not just advice you want to hear at times, but
Exactly.
real advice. Because I sometimes look, you're gonna be wrong. And
Mhm.
sometimes you gonna need that friend to tell you, look, yeah, you was wrong, you know. And at the end of the day, you gotta take what they're giving you, like, yeah, you're gonna be mad, but when you sit back and think about it, and you go back and like, you know what, he was right, she was right, then you
Yeah,
gotta address the
that's true.
situation.
That's true. That is true. Jane, let me read these comments and I want you to answer this question too. Kim Cates Peterkin stated, I agree, all women, all men, and then couples. My apologies for the delay response. No worries. I'm driving and had to pull over. Don't judge me. Listen, I know that's right. Get into this podcast. I appreciate this so much, and I'm listening while being fed at the same time. I know that's right. And Benita, I saw you said sure. So thank you so much for that. And also, Benita stated, in my healing and forgiveness era, she can relate to you, Brianna. She definitely can relate. Chandra stated, because hurt people hurt others. You bring that old baggage right along, and the new person has to suffer for something someone else did. So that's why it is important to heal. And Sherry stated, yes, absolutely, Josh. Melissa stated, I agree with Chandra. You must go through healing first. Jean, it's in your court.
You remember the last session we had when I told you I was born into chaos and
Yes.
born under a generational curse. So I got into my marriage unhealed.
Mm.
I'm just really now learning how to heal. So a lot
Mhm.
of people go into situations unhealed. And I brought a lot of my insecurities into my marriage, like
Mhm.
overprotective, like in the beginning, dudes try to holler at you at work and all that stuff like that because I had did so much dirt in my past and I've had dirt done to me by women, that I was unequally yoked with. And it was just all, a mess. Not in my marriage, but just bringing all them insecurities and
Right.
all that stuff inside. So I thank God now that I'm know how to heal properly and my wife stuck with me through it and she's sticking with me through it. So I just want to thank God for that because I didn't know how to heal. I didn't know what healing was. And a lot of
Wow.
us don't. Yes, ma'am.
That's
I
true.
love it. I love it. Real quick, guys, because I know y'all got to go and you got to eat. Settling out of fear. Do y'all think this happened with some people?
Oh
They
yeah.
feel like they're getting a little bit older. They feel like because statistics in society say, oh, amongst, especially for men, well, women, the male pool is so small.
Mhm.
So people settle out of fear. Who wants to attack this? And then we got one more and we're going to wrap it up.
I don't settle for nothing I don't want.
Okay.
I,
Well,
yeah, I have to want it. I chased my wife since 10th grade. You know what I mean?
That's major.
I'm not settling out of fear or nothing. I want what I want and I got it. And I've been married to her for almost 20 years. So yeah, that
Whoop,
answer.
whoop. Go Kenya. Oh, Bree said I got to give you some applause.
Yeah.
I love it. But you know, one thing I noticed too, Gene, you stated that you were transparent. You said you were unhealthy when you got into your marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
But Kenya, she hung in there with you. She hung in there with you.
Yes, ma'am.
But you also encouraged, okay, for those who listen, he's also encouraged being healed before you go into a relationship because everybody background is different. We
Mhm.
know that. So now there's systems that are in place for people to get help. There's people that you can tap into, organizations, churches, good ones anyway, because there's a lot of stuff going on in ministries, but I'm talking about a real good one. Gotta put that disclaimer out there. Okay.
Boy,
Just because you mentioned church now, that don't mean a thing. But a good God-fearing church, you can
Yeah.
get the counseling that you need and assistance from therapists and things of that nature to get you to that stage of healing. So I think that's important and you shouldn't settle out of fear. Let me read these comments that we got in here. All right. Bonita said, I agree 100%, Josh. Kim Case Peterkin said, Amen. And also, Shanika Quick said, good point, Josh. Get advice from licensed therapists. Absolutely. Listen, we believe in Jesus and therapy over here. Right,
Yeah.
y'all?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Right. Sherry Dawson Williams said it. Me and my sister were going to be cat women, but without cats. We were. Because we didn't tolerate a lot. We didn't.
cat
We did.
women, as far as being single women with a
There you
thousand,
go. Without the cats.
but just
I don't
single.
like cats. Actually, we were labeled that we was going to be nuns. Joshua, you're laughing. But yeah,
Oh man,
because I'm serious. Me
crazy.
and my go ahead, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Listen, I can laugh at it now. I laughed at it then. And you know what? The thing about with me, I was okay with my singleness. Everybody is not okay. I was okay with my singleness until I was like, God, you have to send me the right person. And even now, we still work on our marriage. There's no perfect marriage out there.
No,
I don't care what nobody say. There is no perfect marriage out there.
That's true.
What you say, Miss
I said
Miss?
that's true.
That's true. Oh, okay. Like how you
they
said
make it
that with
they
a little
make it
twist.
look good online though.
They really do.
And you know what? Be fighting, going
Behind
at it
closed.
Getting
behind
drugged.
closed doors.
And I feel like that make it worse when you pretending on
Put
Yeah.
a filter over that black eye.
mm-hmm.
Ooh, jeez.
Paya.
Kim Case Peter said yes, and I love it. Benita said, if I settle, it's going to be for the best. No more potential or
And
projects. Look, Benita is not playing with y'all. I don't know who been out there that have been a project for Benita. She is not dealing with no more projects or potential. Y'all got to come right, okay?
She's not
Sister,
going.
she's not doing it. She's not doing it. So
not
y'all better watch this
love
podcast
it.
and see her writing in these comments. She is not doing it. Okay.
Benita cut you off quick, right?
Hmm.
Say what? Say it again.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Okay, bars number 2. Shanita Quick said, you speak of Lenore, a good church. That's right. And Benita Quick said, have Jesus and a good therapy. Melissa said, amen. And Chanda, listen, when Chanda comment, Chanda gonna come with some paragraphs. I love it, Chanda. Chanda said, don't settle for the first thing that comes along because you think my time is passing. Now, this right here is the truth. And if I don't go with that person, I might not get anything better. Oh,
Hmm.
Chanda, you talking good tonight. And that's how you end up with the bozo and
No, she did.
All right, Sister Joy.
He said you end up with the bozo instead of a bold ass by settling. And let's flip it for the men.
A
You
bozo
end
is
up with a
crazy.
who?
Crazy, for real. A bozo.
He
A
said
That's,
bozo
that's,
bozo.
a,
instead of
that's
a
an old school. That's
Bozo
an
is
bozo.
diabolical. That's a bozo.
Honestly.
Them fighting words. You can't call
Right.
me a bozo.
So
Ah,
listen,
I'm gonna want to
listen,
scrap. I'm gonna want to
y'all
scrap
listen.
if you call me a bozo.
Chanda came with it for the women. So men, what will you substitute the bozo and the boaz for from the male standpoint? What would be the names?
I don't know. She came with some fire.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
fire.
we're gonna listen.
Come
We're
back
gonna
to us.
Ain't no comeback for that one.
they said ain't got no comeback Chanda. We seeing that L Town here, girl. We seeing that L Town here.
I'm sorry.
definitely coming out that McKinnon side.
Benita Quint said, yes, sir. Crystal said, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. All right, y'all, can y'all take one more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all okay with taking one more? Okay.
Yeah, I ate dinner already. Come on.
Joshua have not. And let me tell you something. I gotta feed my brother after this. Okay. But y'all, real quick, I gotta give a shout out to my husband because we not freezing tonight. Last night I said we gotta call Spectrum. Y'all, how about he had the man at the house this morning, 11 o'clock.
Okay then.
That's what's up.
So we ain't stalling. We ain't stalling. That's what you call breaking the patterns that could cause friction in a relationship. No, I'm just playing. he just helped me.
That can be called listening to your partner when they shared like something needs to be done.
So he had one
You
of the
giving it
village
to us
people
from a
at the house.
clinician standpoint again, Miss McKeever?
Yes. That was, I admired that. That was really good.
Yeah, he made it happen. He made it happen because last week was just terrible. But thank goodness. So if y'all have Spectrum and have not had your cable and modem updated, make sure that you get it updated because if your internet speed is slow, it's probably because you have an old modem, and that is the reason why ours were staggering. So I'm just giving y'all free plug. Spectrum did not pay me for this, but if y'all see it, I need you to pay me like y'all pay the Dr. Pepper lady. Okay. All right. So
Need that.
y'all, let me listen. We got a few more. Scientific Eve, thank you for joining. She said, don't ask nobody what their secret is. It don't apply to you and yours. That's good. That's good. That's good, Scientific. Sherry said, Joshua, what do you...
Next comment.
That's what he said, Sherry. All right. Chandra said, shout out to Harold. Yeah, shout out to Harold. He over there with E.E. Smith doing some basketball.
AC
Coaching or something tonight, calling the games, keeping the books, one of the three. Okay, ignoring he's not coaching, but keeping the books. Ignoring the red flags. Woo. Y'all, why do we break this pattern? Why is it important to break the pattern of ignoring red flags in the beginning of a relationship? Because I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be transparent. We all have done it.
Absolutely.
But why is it important? Why is it important for us to recognize the red flags?
Well, I guess it costs more. It costs less to get married, but more to get a divorce. So
say that again, Joshua. You stalled a little bit.
Oh, I said it costs less to get married, but more to get a divorce.
So that's why we shouldn't ignore them red flags. What's y'all take on this, Jean and Brionna, about ignoring the red flags? That was a good point, Josh.
Because a small spark can burn a whole city down.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you quoting Bible, aren't you?
Drop somebody. Drop somebody.
Did y'all just hear what Jean said? Deacon Jean Jr. He said a small spark can burn the whole city down. Brionna, I want you to answer this, and then I'm going to shoot back up to a previous comment.
So I think we ignore red flags because sometimes we see the good in that person, or we see the potential we have. And basically what all that is we're looking into the future instead of focusing on what do I see right now, what is presented before me. And I think that's how a lot of times we start to ignore red flags, because we kind of pacify things like, you know what, he didn't mean that, or that don't mean nothing, or things like that. Is because it's just a combination of things. That question is really loaded, but I just want to share, just from that standpoint, sometimes we see the good, or we're looking at the future and have everything planned out, and you ain't even got to the point where y'all can go out to eat and have a effective conversation. So that's what I feel.
I agree with all of y'all. And to add my take to it, I think a lot of people, they ignore the red flags because, as you stated, Brianna, they want to see potential. And they think, oh my goodness, I think I stated this on the previous podcast. They think they can go in and change the man. Vice versa. The man think he can change the woman. Let me tell you something. You cannot. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Generally, what you see is what you get until God change that person.
Mm.
Because you will get tired. Can you? Will you? Why you? I'm tired of you.
And can I share this real quick too? I think that's why it's important sometimes to unplug from social media, because all of these relationships and things are kind of plastered in our face. And sometimes, when somebody reaches out to you, you feel like, oh, you know what, this may be the one. Everybody tell you this is what you look out for, some things like that. And you may start ignoring those things. Is because, you know, um, relationships are just idolized right now. And so sometimes we need to pull back and detox from social media and really, get to know ourselves, and goes back earlier to heal as well, is because we don't want to continue with the patterns of ignoring red flags. So I challenge everyone to do a detox from social media and actually write down, like, what are some red flags you have noticed in the past, and kind of keep that list with you. So like if you are in the dating phase and you may see, certain patterns, you can kind of look up that list, because being honest, well, I'll be honest, sometimes I may forget about some things, but that's why I journal and have those lists, is because you can go back to it and just reflect on it.
And I can piggyback
Absolutely.
off of what she said. A lot of people dictate their relationship off social media.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mhm.
and then especially when you like certain videos, then that's all you gonna get on your
Yes.
grid, because it's
Mm-hmm.
certain things you like. So like they said, it was like AIs. You're interested. What you're interested, that's all you gonna keep seeing, and all that stuff is gonna get embedded in your mind about, oh, this how my relationship should be, or I'm running
Yeah.
my relationship off of what
That's
they're
true.
talking about and what this, that, and the third, and then you bringing that into your relationship, causing more issues
Yeah.
than what you already got. People using social media as counselors.
From what I see, it's way
It's
more
true.
single people and miserable people on social media than together and positive.
That's true.
That's just from what I see. I don't know
Mhm.
if I got all ratchet people on my social media or not. I don't know. But from what I see, it's just way more single people, single miserable people than, committed positive people. So every time sometimes you go in there and all you see is negativity and
Mhm.
y'all this and y'all that and y'all need to do this and all that, and like you said, Bree, sometimes we have to do a detox and it feels good. I done did
Yeah.
9 year detox on social media and felt so good, and then you get right back into the loop, and then you feel drained again because you scrolling looking at all that negativity, and it's just
Yes.
That's right. And to add to what Joshua said, what you click on is what the algorithm will feed you. because right now there's a story trending on social media, and I just read, one of the, I guess everyone wants to be a blogger, and as Gene stated prior to us getting live, a content creator, and I read that. Y'all know what's in my algorithm? That same story, but written by other people. I said, I'm tired of seeing this story. Well, what you click on is what social media will feed you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, as you stated, we really have to be careful, even from that standpoint. Let me read these other comments. Sherry stated, instead, with the king, you end up with Homie the Clown. Lord, she took it way back.
A living color, boy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
They got Tommy the clown.
Tommy the Clown. Shaniqua said, thank you for the tag. So whoever tagged her, she appreciate y'all tagging her to get into this conversation. Scientific E said, don't ask nobody. I read that already, right? Yeah, I did. I did. Okay. So let me get back to these comments. Enhanced by Lena stated, ignoring red flags equal danger. It definitely does. Run. But as I stated earlier, y'all, this is what happens. The reason why some people ignore the red flags is because of this this part of her statement. They think their time is past, and if they don't go with that person, they might not get anything better.
Yeah.
That's why some people do ignore the red flags. Simply,
Hmm.
that is a reason. And I think too, some people are so good at deception.
Yes.
If you don't have discernment of spirit from the
Yes.
Holy Spirit, I ain't talking about the ancestors, I'm talking about the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ. If you don't have discernment, and I'm talking about a high level, because even people who have discernment, if they don't have it strong, they can get fooled up through deceptionists. As I stated before, it can be a switch, no, bait and switch. They bait you. They do everything that you love, that you enjoy. And when you say I do, it's like, oh my goodness. So I just want to add that point in there. Okay. All right. So let me go back and read these other questions. Scientific Eve also stated red flags mean Molly, you in danger. Sherry stated, don't all of you talk at once about the red flags. Oh, okay. But it was good. It was good. Scientific Eve also said maybe slim pickings. Bonita stated it's extremely important not to ignore the red flags. Run, don't walk. You'll waste time and years you can't get back. And honey, that is the truth. Key Jones said you cannot do that. Shaniqua said discernment is important when dating so you can see those red flags. Just mention that. And Keith Jones said, yes, social media is a front. Definitely is. Oh my goodness, it is. Okay. I found out some of the most happiest people, excuse me, are the ones that don't really post all of their business or their relationship on social media. Do y'all agree with that?
I know millionaires that's not on social media.
I agree with
Gene,
you though.
that's the
Hmm.
truth. Josh agree. Brianna, y'all listen. I'm gonna tell you something. If I didn't have to be on here with my platform, I wouldn't be on here. And I did a detox about 2 years ago. I need to do another one, but I think y'all really need me here on this platform. Okay, let me read these last comments and I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, because I think I have some questions in the comments. Okay, Melissa said you can change. That's why we need three in a marriage relationship. Jesus, then the couples. Absolutely, absolutely. In regards to that. Okay, so I'm just going through these other ones real quickly. Shaniqua said she agreed with Brianna, you speaking. Sherry said, preach, Josh. I guess she's going to give you an offering later.
Oh,
Lena said social media more negative than positive. I absolutely agree with you, Lena. And that's what Jean stated earlier. Sherry said using social media as a counselor. Wow. Brianna said, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in and enjoying the conversation. Listen, we got someone, Malcolm, Preacher Man Williams. Is it wrong to accept red flags? And if not, What human being isn't a red flag? Is mercy not greater than sacrifice? Are we not made in his likeness? Okay. So let's unpack your question here. The first part, is it wrong to accept red flags? I would say it's up to you to accept the red flags. That is a
Mhm.
personal decision if you want to accept the red flags. But just know accepting the red flag results in a byproduct.
Yeah.
So, for example, Lena put manipulation. So, if you see manipulation as a red flag in the dating phase or the courting phase of the relationship, and you marry that person, you should definitely realize that manipulation is going to be one of the common ingredients in your relationship. And do you want to live your life long term in covenant with a person who is a manipulator? Or would you prefer for this person to be healed, delivered, and set free from manipulation so they will not be manipulating you or manipulating others in the relationship? So I want to unpack that particular part of that question. Anybody want to jump in on that?
I think you did a great job answering.
Hmm.
Okay.
Red flag for me is lying. I ain't even gonna front.
Lying. I definitely agree.
And that's what friend. It don't even have to be friendship. I mean relationship. It could be like friendships. If you start off lying, and I know you lying, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm too old for that.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
definitely
Not
agree.
lying, I can't. Yeah, that's red flags for anybody. Anybody coming in my vicinity. Because, like I said, I'm either tell you it's none of your business or the truth. Either or. You're going to get either or from me. You're not going to get a lie from me. I'm too old for that.
Hmm.
I,
And,
I, I
and like you said, it just goes back to what are you willing to accept?
Hmm.
So if you can accept certain things, as Nora stated, that will be up to you.
yeah. And I mean, if I'm a person with low tolerance for certain
Yes.
things, and I can't subject myself to it because it can be very frustrating. And you know what? Let me tell you this too. Those red flags that you accept, and we know that God is a forgiving God. We know that. But those red flags that you accept, do we not understand that it brings stressors onto the body, which
Yeah.
in return causes health issues
Hmm.
to our body? And we
Yes.
wonder, why is this sickness? Why is this flaring up within my body? It's because I've accepted these red flags from this person. And now it's in my relationship and I'm constantly dealing with that. No. And I do know, yes, we are all made in his likeness, in God's likeness. But one thing about God is that he himself was without sin. We're given the choice whether to make good decisions or bad decisions. And I would just say if a person who is a liar, that's the type of this that they want to be a liar in a relationship, and that's a red flag. Like Jean said, if you I can't stand a liar. And if you lie one time, you're gonna continue to lie unless you be delivered from that lying spirit. I'm just gonna say that real quick. Y'all want to say anything else on this? Josh, did
No,
I sound like my daddy?
it was a great podcast tonight. I'm telling you.
It
I,
was.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed myself.
It
Yes.
was. Oh, it was. And that means bring it to an end. But Kim Cates, Peter can understand Bree. Kim Cates, Peter can say, Brianna, thank you for having us. Bonita Quick said, yes, you're right. Discernment over deception. Brianna, I received the love and I know when to come to a close. LinkedIn user says, such an amazing conversation tonight because Brianna haven't eaten. Kim Cakes said, Big L, not the little one. All right. Bonita Quick said, I won't tolerate a liar She agreed. And Key Jones said life is too short to be dealing with mess. I definitely agree. Scientific Eve, there are red flags in marriage. Ex older couples that are mean to each other and others. And one thing I learned about that Scientific Eve, just because the person made it to 50 or 60 years, that's a whole nother podcast.
Doesn't mean that it was enjoyable.
I know some that sleep in separate rooms and get their own TV guide when the newspaper comes.
True. That is the truth. Bonita said, yes, be delivered from that lying spirit. All right, y'all. It was good. It was good. It was good. We're going to wrap it up. Any final words, guests? Except
Yes,
for the
make
rain.
sure you all follow everyone on this platform. Will Jean Jr., Lenora Lassiter. Make sure you follow them, follow their social medias. If you have further questions, send them in to Lenora. She will answer them, on her further podcast. And we just thank you all for engaging. Please continue to tag your friends and your family in the comments and share this post.
Gentlemen, any final comments?
Gene Jr.
Signing off.
Sound like Mother McKeever gave a benediction. So there's nothing need to be said after the benediction. But thank you for having me on the show today.
Thank y'all so much for being amazing guests and sacrificing your hour and a half with me on tonight. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, we'll continue the conversation in regards to relationships. Y'all join us next week. Y'all have a great night.